It's time to get into the grease. Hey, what's up? What happening? What's up, partner? Listen, I told them this was going to happen. This is what you get for taking bad takes. This is what happens. The worst scenario happened to them. Jaylen Brown and Kyrie Irving are in the NBA Finals together. Now they got nobody to hate on. They like, well, damn, we got to root for somebody in this. We hate both guys. Stephen A. Liar is sitting over there trying to pretend like he got love for Kyrie Irving. This will go down as probably his worst take in NBA history. Do I really think they're going to let Kyrie Irving win an NBA championship? No. That's going to be I am rooting for Kyrie to win it. But I believe that they're going to give it to Boston, So they want to change the narrative when it comes to Kyrie Irving now. Because they know they're up against it because of this take here.
Let me say this straight up and down. I think Kyrie Irving should retire.
Let me say this. We need to start getting these apologies out there.
Yep. And Kendrick Perkins comes out and apologizes. But notice something. When he does this apology, Stephen A. ain't there.
Okay.
Kyrie has.
You ever notice that? Whenever there's something to do with Kyrie Irving, he mysteriously ain't at his job. He's consistently not doing something he's supposed to be paid to do. Y'all don't find that as coincidental? What a coinky dink. He's never around. Notice this. Look how empty the studio is. Kyrie went up 3-0. Right? Or they went up 3-2. They're playing OKC. And they getting ready to advance. Kyrie Irving is talking to the masses. Stephen A. Smith is nowhere around. Why are you nowhere around, Stephen A. Smith? If you're a journalist, you're an analyst. Why are you not around? You notice that? He was AWOL. Completely AWOL. He knows he's got to live down that bad take. You hiding from the work. Don't go on your podcast show. Go back in front of the millions of people. He's doing the same thing he did to Kwame Brown. It's the same exact crap he does. He'll go on a podcast show and be like, yo, I'm sorry to Kyrie Irving. I shouldn't have ever responded that way. things got heated and it is what it is. I'm doing my job, on a podcast show, but you won't go on that platform that you disrespected him on in front of millions of people watching. Well, hundreds of thousands watching. You won't do it on the same platform in which you denigrated the human being on. You said the man need to retire. You said this man shouldn't even, you called him everything but the son of God countless times. Not just that one take. You kept coming back saying this man should be out of there. And it wasn't just you. It was your entire network. ESPN, every sports person's nightmare. All of y'all has sat up there and continuously taking shots at Kyrie Irving, lying on his character, and trying to change the narrative. Where were you at? Perk changed.
And again, was nowhere to.
Look, once again, Shannon Sharpe's there, and he's not there. Nowhere to be found. Perk apologized to Kyrie Irving like a man. Perk must say, look, I'm good now. I got my security here. I don't need LeBron no more. I could be me. And now with Perk and Shannon Sharpe on the show, Stephen A is not there while they're talking about Kyrie Irving. Purposely being done. So that's fine. If every time Kyrie Irving's name's going to pop up, you're not going to be there, excellent. We stand with that. We don't need you. But Shannon Sharpe does the unthinkable here. Listen to Shannon Sharpe.
Sure, Kyrie had to grow up because for whatever reason, he didn't want to play alongside LeBron James any longer. For whatever reason, he didn't want to be in Boston any longer. For whatever reason, he didn't want to be in Brooklyn. But whatever happened, Kyrie has changed. Kyrie has changed the narrative through his behavior, through his play, through his maturation process.
This is the lie of all lies. Kyrie is the same man he's always been. You are just a liar. And you're trying to change the narrative. For whatever reason, he didn't want to play with LeBron. Why don't you actually be honest, Shannon Sharpe, and tell them what really happened and why he ain't playing with LeBron? He was playing with LeBron and didn't have a problem with playing with LeBron. He said, let's get him again. We're going to get him again next year. Don't worry, we'll come back and get him. LeBron didn't want to play with Kyrie Irving anymore after losing to Golden State. That next year, a change was made after 2017. Your boy LeBron James tried to trade Kyrie Irving to Phoenix for rock body Eric Bledsoe. Everybody knows it. It's not a secret. We all know that what was happening. Kyrie Irving's agent found out because he was out there with another client of his, and they thought he would have known what was going on, and he didn't. They were keeping it away from him. His own agent. He just happened to stumble across the information. And he messed up the whole trade. Because once Kyrie found out, Kyrie is getting ready to go to China. Because he's got his whole shoe line with Nike. He got his whole tour run over there. He's got to do that. Then he's got to go back to filming Uncle Drew in the process. So while going through this whole process, Kyrie Irving gets up there, talks to them, and says, trade me. I'm not playing with LeBron no more. That's it. I'm out. He don't want me here. I'm not playing with him then. Y'all tried to trade me behind my back. I'm out. Because he said it. He said, whose decision was this? Who tried to push this trade? And he looked at Griff, the general manager, and knew it wasn't Griff. He said, I already know the narrative. I know this ain't what you wanted. But I'm going to tell you what I want. Trade me. Trade me. No. LeBron called up there. No. We all good. It was a misunderstanding. No, we want you, Kyrie. No. We can't let Kyrie go. No. Don't let him go. No, we want to keep Kyrie. Now you want to keep Kyrie? You had Kyrie. Why you ain't want to keep him then? Why now we got to keep Kyrie? So he's on his way back on a plane flight from China back to the United States. He said, no, trade me. I'm not playing for y'all. I would have knee surgery and just sit out the rest of the season. I'm out here doing this. I would sit out before I play with LeBron. It's over. LeBron tried. He's like, let me talk to Kyrie. I can get Kyrie back on board. He don't want to talk to you. There's nothing to discuss. You want to change? You want Eric Bledsoe? Go get Eric Bledsoe. But Kyrie wasn't finna go play in Phoenix. So talking to Kobe Bryant about everything that went on, Kobe knew the Boston Celtics, and he said, man, what should I do in this situation? Kobe advised him, one of y'all gonna have to go. One of y'all eventually are gonna have to go. Y'all coming to an impasse. I had this with Shaq. One of us had to go. It got to that point where one of us has to make a move. We got to go. Now, here's where the problems kicked in at with ESPN and everybody else is eating their words. Now they're changing their narrative to that, oh my God, Kyrie finally grew up. So don't sit there, Shannon Sharpe, and say whatever the reason. Is any way Dallas can beat the fix? I'm all in on Kyrie winning. Yeah, they can beat the fix because Boston just shoot threes. So if they can just defend the three well and just continue to rebound and force Boston to have to defend the paint, then yeah, they can beat the fix. Yeah, it is. Hit the like button, everybody. Hit the like, share, subscribe button. All these wonderful things. The Patreon is starting off with a bang. We got Rihanna versus Rock Nation on there. Woo! Didn't know you was going to see that, did you? Yeah. So back to this. So when that happened, right? He's gone. He gets traded to the Boston Celtics. While he's in there filming Uncle Drew, he's in the makeup chair. They was filming the dance scene on the dance floor. When the trade was announced, he went out there and started cutting the floor, dancing. He was happy he was out of Cleveland, going to the Boston Celtics. So this is a big-time move for them. They got Kyrie Irving. They was the resurgence of Boston. Then Gordon Hayward gets hurt on the very first play of the first game of the season, which was against LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They made that the opening game. LeBron hits Gordon Hayward's leg. Next thing you know, he comes down on his ankle and pops his leg. His season is over on the first play. On the first play. So now Kyrie is out there leading the team. Meanwhile, they have two rookies in place. They got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Two young kids playing. You have Terry Rozier coming off the bench, and the team is doing well. They started off 0-4. Then they turned it around and started winning games. Then they were back into the mix. Then Kyrie Irving had some problems with his knee. So he was supposed to go out for a little while, then come back. But because you don't do any real journalism, Shannon Sharpe and ESPN and the rest of the world, no one does their job anymore. It's up to the internet and YouTube and everyone else. We know more than these bastards. How do we know that? Because they know it. They just want to paint their narratives. So don't think they don't know. They know. They just want to go with the narrative that they want to create. So they omit the facts to spread lies and propaganda. Now, the fact is, Kyrie Irving was only supposed to miss about a week or two, and he was supposed to be ready for the playoffs. He was supposed to come back for only 2 weeks. He was just getting some things done in his knee because he got screws in his knee. So he was just going in there to get, some rework. They was going in there, take some stuff out. He'd be back in about 2 weeks, tops. They found out that it's rust in the screws. The screws were starting to rust on the inside of his leg. So the fear of a staph infection and everything else, like tainting his blood, it became worse. He can't come back now. They got to redo all of these screws plus the risk of infection. So to save everything, which turned into a whole nother operation, they had to draw blood from his arm all the way to his leg. This is what Boston didn't tell you. This is what nobody could tell you. And Kyrie is laid up and he got to walk around with a tube, with an arm, with the arm tube going from his arm to his leg and his knee. And it was like, oh, look at Kyrie. He's supposed to come back to the playoffs, and he left these young kids out here. Y'all on there bashing this man who's trying to save his leg. And you guys never did your research, then got the research, and still didn't want to actually admit you were wrong. Kyrie Irving almost lost his leg. When he got through and the process was over and all the infection and all that stuff is out, Kyrie Irving's leg was so much smaller than his other leg, he could barely walk. So he's tried to rebuild his leg and get his strength back in his leg again. Now, all that information would sound like a guy ain't trying to lay down and he ain't cheating the game. That sounds like a guy really is hurt. Kyrie said that he'd be back in a couple weeks and he was out for the rest of the playoffs. Yes, he was out for the rest of the playoffs for that reason. But still, ESPN tore him apart. Then that season's over. They come back next year, right? The rookies go all the way to the West Game 7 with Cleveland without Kyrie. And they get eliminated in Game 7 in Boston. And all of a sudden, now there's a new energy change. Kyrie's back, Gordon Hayward's back, and everybody's on the team trying to figure out what they're going to be. It's all this infighting. Morris and all these guys, they're like, look, we kind of cool, Big Al. Like, they all cool with the way Kyrie's trying to lead the team. Jason Tatum and these guys is like, well, we kind of ready now, and we really don't need you. You know, and Jaylen Brown was more with Tatum on that, like, hey, I love Kyrie, that's my brother, but yeah, you know, we ready to lead this way. So Jason Tatum and Kyrie are bumping heads because Tatum is like, I'm a star. The team's promoting me as the star. You know, like, and you want me to like learn under you like little brother, and I ain't with that. Yeah, I did a 10-second little short. I don't really do shorts, but I did a short on the whole Wilder fight. So what did they do? Oh, they changed the narrative again. They walked it back. So he's trying to create this narrative. He didn't want to play with LeBron no more. LeBron didn't want to play with him no more. And he ended up messing up with the Bledsoe deal. And Bledsoe ended up going over there with Giannis, and Giannis wished he could have kicked him off the team quicker. Bledsoe was such a problem, man, he wanted him out. Like, why did we get this guy? Now, here's the next thing. Boston. Boston promised him a deal going into the season. He said, I want to come back. They lied. They wanted to do a deal. Then at the end of the year, they didn't want to pay Kyrie what he wanted because they wanted to go with this new direction that had Jason Tatum and Brown. So they was like, why are we going to commit this money to Kyrie? There's going to be more infighting going on. Let's just cut the ties with Kyrie now. This is not going to work with us. We can just move that out. And then because Kyrie keeps getting injured, he might get injured again. So let's just trade him now. So they trade Kyrie Irving. He goes to the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant come to Brooklyn. It's all said and done, right? So it wasn't that he didn't want to play for Boston no more. Danny Ainge and them didn't want to pay him, Shannon Sharpe. They didn't want to pay him the money. They wanted to go with the cheaper direction. The cheaper option is Tatum and Brown. These two rookies that I got right now who got us on the right track. The second year we get put out the round by Milwaukee in the playoffs, and we weren't the same team. I'd rather go with the rookies and see how far we could go. So that year they cleaned house. Everybody was gone. Big Al was gone. They got rid of Big Al. He was gone. Morris was gone. Kyrie was gone. Anybody that sided with Kyrie was out. That's right, Gears. They owe the walking stick an apology. So they sat there and read the whole narrative. Kyrie's the bad guy. So in Brooklyn, he's ready to play for the Nets. Kyrie hurts his ankle right when they was whooping the Bucks. And if he don't hurt his ankle, they already gone. This thing don't even go to game 7. So here it is. James Harden is injured. He got an injured hamstring. He can barely move out there. He's playing, but barely. He's just out there distributing the ball, playing little defense. He ain't himself. He ain't James. So Kyrie's hurt, James Harden's hurt, and it's all on KD. KD playing the whole game. No breaks. And his toe was on the line. Had it not been just a half inch back, Bucks ain't winning the chip. Brooklyn would have got it because Kyrie would have been back by the second round. Now, the ownership decided we're going to do Kyrie Irving dirty. Because the very next year, before all of that was going on with the contracts, everybody was on the same playing field, everything. Then comes the tweet after the pandemic, because after the pandemic hit, the pandemic was first. Now the pandemic hit, and everybody, the whole country, and all that. Now they talking about, we don't want to get this guy to play. He can't play this many games unless he take the shot. All of that was going on. He got to get the jab. You got to get the jab. If you don't get the jab, all that noise. You don't get the jab, this ain't going your way. Yep. So when you start looking at the scenarios, you start saying to yourself, okay, I know what's going on here. I know what we need. Now, Shannon Sharpe blamed him for that. When Joe Tsai reneged on the deal or the contract, Kyrie Irving said, okay, trade me. Trade me. If you don't want to pay me, I'm not taking this extension. You know what I wanted. And you guys are saying you're not going to commit to the deal that y'all was saying y'all was going to do. I'm out of here. Ain't no need of me being here if you're not going to pay me. Then that happens. And Kevin Durant said, well, if he's out, I'm out. Because now you're reneging on what we promised. And all of this was based on him not taking a jab, which made no sense. Saying the NBA saying this is not us. This is New York. New York got this law saying that you can't do it, but anybody who travels to New York can play. It's just the stupidest rule in the world. So it's like, okay, so if you saying it's, I'm going to contaminate people, and I might contaminate people if I play, what about the people that come here from play who don't have it either? they refuse to get it, and they playing. coming in here. It doesn't make any sense. There's like, it's not us. It's New York. New York is crazy. But it wasn't. It was political, and it was targeted against Kyrie Irving because he was publicly having a name, and he wasn't speaking too favorably about it. He wasn't jumping up and down like LeBron, like, go and get the jab. He didn't have to get the jab. He just had it. They wanted him to be the token boy. Speak publicly about it. Now you have the context in why they left. And he went over to Dallas, right? And they got players back or whatever. They don't have to pay Kyrie. Brooklyn got all the money in the world. Now, KD's like, I want out too then. So KD gone. He gone the way he wanted to go, Phoenix. They were supposed to get DeAndre Ayton, but Ayton signed back into a deal that he couldn't be traded within the first year of his contract. So he had to play that whole season with Phoenix. So now they like, oh, well, they finna lose Kevin Durant. They're not losing Kevin Durant. He's staying in Phoenix. This is where he wanted to go. See, y'all think people are supposed to win a championship right away. That's not how it works. This new we got to win now attitude is crazy. Only one team can win it. You got to build. Learn how to play together. Everybody got to know their job on the court. Oh, Vernon Maxwell would have been tossed because he'd have probably socked him in the locker room. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon slapped Vernon Maxwell before. Like, it was a whole lot of fights on the Houston Rockets. They could just do a whole videotape on Rocket fights. Like, the fights they had in the locker room. Yeah, everybody be thinking Hakeem Olajuwon, he's the Muslim man, a man of peace. Man, he wanted a piece of Vernon Maxwell's throat. Man, he smacked Mad Max in the locker room, man. They got the fighting. Yeah, absolutely. But see, the narrative is always Kyrie's the bad guy. So now he's saying Kyrie Irving and changed his whole attitude and he done matured. He done matured. He the same person he's always been. Just admit y'all were wrong. That's all you got to do, Shannon Sharpe. Y'all were wrong.
Through his maturation process.
His maturation process. He had to mature. He didn't have to mature. He did what he had to do. Kyrie has never been a problem anywhere he's ever been. Y'all got mad at Kyrie Irving over a retweet or repost of a link to a book, and you are sitting up there outraged about it when the guy who's selling the book, the guy who putting the book out is Jewish, who own Amazon, Jeff Bezos, ain't take it down. Y'all helped that man make more money. So all the outrage about Kyrie hitting a retweet, y'all ain't saying nothing about the writer of the book. Y'all going to even read the book, download the book. The guy like, keep going, keep making me money. Now, why would you care about a book if it was a book full of lies? The book is nothing but a bunch of lies. So what do you care about it for? You made it a big subject. Why? So what you did was help promote the book. Thank you. From Hebrews to Negroes. Was a great way to get that book out. So thanks for the free promotion y'all did for that book. But tried to ostracize Kyrie Irving is to say no team wants him. Nobody's going to want to play with Kyrie Irving after this. Who would want to? He's terrible. He's dangerous to a team. You don't know if he's going to be available to play. Stephen A. Smith attacked this man for taking personal days through that. He's taking a mental health day. What's going on with this? This pandemic's going on and he don't want to play. Kyrie Irving just doesn't want to play anymore. He's doing this and that. Why is he taking off these days? The NBA was granting people days to take off. Through the suspensions, through the personal days off, he only missed 8 games. All season. When Kyrie was healthy and wasn't playing, he missed a total of 8 games. And last year, when he got to Dallas, and him and Luka are learning to play with each other, and they're playing and they get into the playoffs, and they lose in the playoffs, and everybody else is saying, oh, this is it for Kyrie Irving. He wants to play with LeBron again. They're using that narrative. Oh, look, they're going to trade for Kyrie Irving. They're going to get Kyrie Irving. Yeah, the Rangers lost. They lost my goddamn money, too. I sit over there and believed in the goddamn Rangers. I should have known. There ain't no Mark Messier out there. It was all bad. Kyrie didn't disrespect anyone. No, he didn't. He's not disrespectful. And every time he had a press conference, they were going to have something negative to say about it anyway. But Stephen A. tried to say this guy doesn't want to play, can talk bad about the man at every turn. But he ain't balls enough to face him. Look at that. And now that he's out here performing for the Dallas Mavericks, who signed him to a deal, and when he was hurt in Brooklyn, that's when they sit there and made all that noise, right? Then he came out to Dallas and started killing. Y'all said he was washed up. Went through a whole bunch of injuries and came out and played. Didn't cry, didn't blame injuries for anything. Everybody wants to blame Kyrie. Now he's got to go into Boston where they're going to sit there and call him everything but the son of God. In 2024, he's got to walk into another racist, just hostile environment. When they've been winning anything now, ain't all those habit checks and nope, ain't hardly any of those on the team. They got to put somebody on there just for the status quo. The token white guys they got on there. Pritchard. Who's going to guard Pritchard? I wonder what Dallas is going to do with Pritchard. I had to hear that crap. I almost fell out laughing. Then Christian gonna come up here crying, talking about how they wasn't racist enough. Yeah, but at least Kendrick Perkins came out and apologized. Kendrick Perkins was man enough to come out and say, look, we all need to start, eating some crow around here and putting our apologies to Kyrie Irving and doing it on a world stage. That's how you do it. What Kendrick Perkins did, that's how you do it. If I disrespected you on that platform, I'm not going to do it on some small Twitter and say, hey, this is where it happened at. Stephen A is an idiot. He knows what he's done. So when Kenny Smith came out and told the story about how he had to do what he had to do and go down that road and talked about, I had to check him. I had to tell him about himself. Well, Molly is getting tired of Stephen A. A lot of people are, because everybody now sees this is what he is. It's not like just people on the internet talking bad about him. Now it's all the way in his own neck of the woods. His own people that he worked with don't like him. And it's evident. Nothing's friendly about it no more. Look at him. Puppet boy.
Away, which is an incredible story within itself. But anyway, the topic that I'm about to get into is a bit personal. It involves Kenny, my brother, my boy. Kenny Smith and I go back decades. His brother, Vincent Smith, used to train me. Lost Battalion Hall, Queens, New York, all of that stuff. I got a scholarship, basketball scholarship, because of Vincent Smith. Love him to death. But Kenny Smith and I go back that long. Last night, the TNT crew was discussing the evolution of Kyrie Irving this postseason. Because Kyrie Irving obviously has gone through so much, being accused of anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic remarks just because he retweeted something and stuff like that, gets suspended, having to deal with some of the things he's had to deal with, the whole COVID thing, and, not wanting to play, not wanting to take the vaccine and all this other stuff, ultimately missing an abundance of games. And, obviously things going south in Brooklyn with him, Kevin Durant and James Harden. You look at those situations, you just found yourself saying, damn, this is a bad situation. It's really bad. And Kyrie's name was all over it. And then he lost the sneaker deal and all he had was basketball. But the evolution of Kyrie Irving this postseason has been nothing short of spectacular. He deserves a lot of credit for it. But that was also what led to Kenny Smith revealing a very private conversation that he had with me about my past critical comments of Kyrie.
Now, he's trying to say, oh, he had a remarkable season. He turned everything around. Now, as you can see, the Jet said, this guy's from our neighborhood. I named like 6 people. And I said, Steven, those people mentored you. They mentored him. So when you say something about him, you're actually saying it about us. And he understood. See, Kyrie Irving's father, who was a heck of a basketball player, who gave up his dream to get to the NBA to raise his family and take care of his kids. So he had to waive that dream. And it's a shame they don't tell the Kyrie Irving story on ESPN. They would have back in the 90s. They would have when they had real people working there. They fired all the real people there, and now you got puppets. So puppets don't know how to go out and do an investigative story. They don't do that anymore. Now it's just propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. They say people's attention span, they can't handle vast information. Keep giving them just spoons full of sugar. And that's how this was going. But just like I said, he's apologizing on his podcast show, not on ESPN platform. You didn't insult him here. You did it on ESPN. That's where you need to make amends.
And I shouldn't say past because at the time we had the conversation. Named like 6 people, and I said Stephen A. Those people, and it's our job to tell a story. And that's what I did. When it was happening, I spoke about what was happening. So Charles Barkley's right about that. But nobody's more right than my brother Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith did call me. And when Kenny Smith called me, he spoke to me, and he reminded me of guys. He mentioned 6 guys. I'll give you 3 of their names. One was Rod Strickland, former NBA player, spectacular point guard out of DePaul University and stuff like that. Rod Strickland is the godfather of Kyrie Irving. Another person was Gary Howard, Gary D. Howard to be exact, former deputy sports editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer, who was responsible for getting me there. When I was a high school reporter for the New York Daily News, he was the one responsible for getting me the college job at the Philadelphia Inquirer. He's also the former executive sports editor for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. At the time that Gary Howard was the executive sports editor there were 4, and ultimately reduced to 2 executive sports editors in the country, despite there existing hundreds of newspapers. Only about 2 were black. Gary Howard was one of them. He's a Bronx native. He's very, very close to Dedrick Irving, Kyrie's father. They grew up together, knows him well. Gary Howard is also a friend and a mentor of mine. The other dude was Reggie Howard that Kenny Smith was alluding to. Reggie Howard is Gary's brother. Coaches a lot of youth in the Bronx, very respected, street dude, very connected, the whole bit. And all of them talked to me. And they weren't disagreeing with what I was saying, but they were addressing the fervor with which I talked about Kyrie.
And they checked you. Just admit you got checked. You got punked. You got put in your place for your disrespect of Kyrie Irving. And now, by winning, he proved you wrong. He don't have to win a championship this year because he's already won in the public appeal that Kyrie Irving is a plus to the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic. When y'all said he was a problem and a cancer to a team, so what did y'all have to say now? Now y'all saying sidekick. That was was Kyrie the best sidekick? Where does he compare to when it comes to sidekicks? That's what they doing now. Changing the narrative, saying Kyrie's the best sidekick. Kyrie's the best, probably the best sidekick. Who would you say was it? Well, was Kobe a sidekick to Shaq? Really? Like Kobe said, I wasn't no damn sidekick. You got 2 superstar players on the court. They trying to say Scottie Pippen's a sidekick. Now, if you want to say a sidekick, that's Scottie Pippen. But to call Kyrie Irving a sidekick, y'all going right back to the disrespect factor. So we're honoring him. He's the best sidekick, probably in NBA history. You know, he's been the sidekick to Kevin Durant. No, it was Kyrie Irving's team. Kevin Durant told y'all. He said, it's Kyrie's the leader of this team. Flat out. When he was in Brooklyn, Kevin Durant said, they were like, well, whose team is it? He was like, well, Kyrie is our leader. like he leads he comes out in the huddle, he does the talk. He's the guy in the huddles doing the talk. It's Kyrie, he's our leader. So that was it. So when was he the sidekick? He was like, well, he was a sidekick to LeBron. Your sidekick scoring 40. Him and LeBron putting up 40 in the finals together. That's crazy. Now, all those people he named are people that helped his no good, narrow ass get to where he's at today. Like he said, Kenny Smith's brother, Vincent, another basketball player who used to help you out. Now, all these people that's talking to you mentor Kyrie Irving. And you going to have a problem, a beef with his father, Dietrich? And all these people that they know that know you, you ain't safe. All these dudes know you for real. So they calling you like, bro, you better get in line. I don't know what didn't happen to you, but you better get in line. I got Gary on the phone and his brother. They both want to talk to you, bro. You coming out to Kyrie in New York? And this was in New York too. You notice a key word that he said, the Bronx. They still there. They still in the Bronx. So let me tell you, the attitude was like, bro, we from the Bronx, the boogie down Bronx. What is he talking about?
And I really didn't see it that way. I felt like I had looked out for Kyrie Irving on many, many occasions until I couldn't. And then I felt that his attitude towards me had changed and it felt like betrayal. I let that go. But then when his father, I felt, came at me the wrong way, I reacted like I react. I ain't backing up. And it wasn't until Kenny Smith placed that call to me that I had to look at myself differently, because he reminded me of those numerous people that raised Kyrie. They also influenced me. And when I talked about Kyrie in the fashion that I talked about him, it wasn't just a reflection on him. It was a reflection on them. And when I looked at it that way, it gave me cause to pause. And then I remembered having an argument on First Take on ESPN with Jay Williams. And Jay Williams wasn't even attacking what I said. He was attacking the energy and how I said it. And I thought about that. And I said, damn, you got a point. And then I ran into Kyrie. And we were at the crypto.com arena. And Kyrie came up behind me, touched me on the back, and said, yo, bro, at this point, it ain't even about us. It's about you and my dad and the way y'all been going at each other. And y'all got me caught in the middle of it. And when he said that to me, it hit home. I picked up the phone, live from the crypto.com arena, sitting baseline. And I texted his dad and asked his dad to meet with him. And his dad, being the class act that he is, agreed to meet with me in New York City a few weeks later. We met, we talked. Both of us apologized to each other for how we construed how one was coming at the other, et cetera, and we've been cool ever since. And when Kenny Smith brought that story up yesterday, it reminded me of the role that I play, the responsibility that I have. And I'm not one that usually gives a shit what anybody thinks. I stand on what I stand on. I feel the way that I feel because I pride myself in being man enough to acknowledge when I'm wrong if I think I'm wrong, because I think it's rare. But I was wrong. And for Kenny Smith to tell me that, it hit home in a big way, because we go back more than 30 years.
Why does another man got to tell you wrong? Why does another man have to come in and tell you wrong? Why does another man have to step in and tell you wrong? That's what I don't get. Why does another man have to step in to tell you making a mistake? And you didn't believe it the first time around. You see, that's the weird part about it. You sat there knowing what you was doing was wrong. I know some of y'all probably seeing an ad. They probably started throwing some ads in there. But what you seeing right now is Stephen A. Smith groveling like a dog. Because those guys came out and Kenny Smith exposed to the world what happened. And that conversation was made him look stupid. Kenny and them checked him. Put him in check because he was out of line. Now, we all know that conversation was going in another direction because all them dudes from the Bronx reached out. And they was like, Diedrich was telling them, like, dude, do you even know what time it is? Kyrie Irving father don't play when it comes to his family, man. He don't play when it comes to his kids. This is a man who gave up playing in the NBA and said, I'm going to drive a cab if I have to take care of my kids whose wife died when he was 2. Kyrie was like 2 years old. So he don't have glimpses, like he don't have any visions of his mom. And right away, his life changed. Well, you know, the narratives are always going to be the same, right? They always going to find a way to pin something against Kyrie Irving. So now this new narrative of he being the sidekick. Kyrie don't care what y'all write. He can handle all that. He going to burn that sage in Boston all day long. And Thursday, we going live the whole goddamn game right here on this page till it's over. This is why people don't like Stephen A. Smith. Because even when he apologizes, he sounds like an arrogant prick who just don't understand or get it. Nobody is into you, bro. Nobody's feeling what you selling. They know what you are. People know how you got Max Kellerman out of there. There's no surprise to any of it. We're not shocked. We're not like, oh my God. And now you and ESPN are trying to find a way to pivot. Instead of saying I was wrong, y'all trying to find a way to pivot out of it. You told Lamar Odom on crack. Max Kellerman couldn't even believe what you were saying. The Knicks wanted to get Lamar Odom when he was smoking crack. Max is like, he couldn't even, he's like, I can't believe you said that on national television. He's giving them the look like, I can't believe it. And you wanted to get Max out of there. And you think your little swaggy dashing self coming in there talking about some black folks. Here I come, shuffling Jack. Look at him, shuffling. Shuffling Mac. So yeah, he's going to come down there shuffling and jiving. Creating a false narrative that he represents the brothers. And he's speaking for us when he's not. I'm a bottom feeder. I'm a bottom feeder. That's going to go a long way for you, buddy. I'm a bottom feeder. When you said that, I'm a bottom feeder. I'm a bottom feeder. I'm a bottom feeder. You said that yourself. I'm a bottom feeder. And he's right. He's a bottom feeder. And the numbers are so Kyrie is scoring and the arithmetic is all over the place. And he just can't get it. I don't know. I don't know. How can I stop Kyrie Irving? How can I get out of this? Kyrie is scoring points. I said he should retire. How can I get myself out of this mess? That's a bad take that keeps coming back. That bad take keeps coming back. I can't stop this bad take. This bad take. He's done. And this is the problem. This neutralizer. We talked about him earlier today, but this is the narrative. And this is on the Patreon right now, y'all. Right at Rihanna versus Jay-Z and Rock Nation. That's on the Patreon right now. So shuffling Mac Smith, doing what he do, changing the narratives to fit his own propaganda and opinion. Uncle Ruckus, bringing the ruckus. Mm-hmm. Stephen A is mad because he ain't invited to Mike Rubin's party. Oh, man, you ought to see that. He was real mad about that. But there's some people there that didn't like him and didn't want him there. That's all that was. He was like, man, I thought you was my boy. He was like we never hung out. Oh my God.
Let's talk about.
Now, ribs, Jason. Ribs over there. Jason Whitlock even puts him in check. Exactly. They said the LA Fakers only got 12 titles. 5 belong to the Minneapolis Lakers. Ain't no damn lakes in Los Angeles. Oh, man. This guy came out, forget a BB. He came out with the Mac 4040. Woo! He came out with the Mac 4040. Somebody really don't like the Lakers over here. Man, that's a Mac 4040 he came with. He said he went to Cleveland for Kyrie and he was traded to Dallas. Bro went to Cleveland for Kyrie. Yeah, he wanted to play with Kyrie, and then he was like, all right, now that I'm here, now let's get some other people in here. I don't know. It's so much going on in the world, you know. It's just every time you turn around and look, it's like crazy, in my opinion. Kyrie should be in the top 75. That was the most disrespectful. That's probably the most disrespectful I've ever seen. Kyrie Irving not being an NBA top 75 is so disrespectful, and it just shows you that's what's wrong with all of this now. Because once you can't go and take something away from somebody. Like, you can't go in there and say, you know, John Havlicek shouldn't be in there because Kyrie Irving's better than John Havlicek. You know, it's like, hey, come on, you can't do that. That's not how this works. Okay, you play in your era and the work you've done in your time when you were playing. Where were you and who were you? That's what matters in the end. So when you see all these other people keep doing all this nonsense, you start to see the format and it starts moving in another direction, and you start saying, man, okay, I get it now. They just don't like me. Yeah, they change the narratives. Every time you look around, a narrative is changed. Kyrie Irving was never raised to be a disrespectful human being. And the sports media world changed. He was a born leader of a team. He was an NBA All-Star before LeBron even got there. They were building a team around him. When he played with Tristan Thompson, that's when they got to the All-Star game. Tristan Thompson had his best year when it was him and Kyrie Irving. Nobody has a bag like Kyrie Irving. He is not a product of the AAU system. Now they saying, oh, he's the most skilled player ever. What gave that away? What gave that away? So if you're not going to apologize on ESPN, Stephen A., you might as well keep it. Don't nobody want it. Don't nobody want it. Dame Dollar. Dame made himself a popular character. Dame has got skills, but he knows Kyrie is next level. Like, everybody knew what time it was. You see, Kyrie is next level. There is no answer for him. And because he was putting on such a show and putting on such a feat, these guys couldn't match his game. LeBron could never do the stuff Kyrie could do. This is why he wanted to come down and play with him. Oh, my God. My fellow Piston brother. Oh, my God. That was bad. But Kyrie Irving, the spin baseline, everything, the moves. So this is no conundrum to why this is happening. Kyrie Irving is an anomaly to the system. So when they were able to land the pick to bring in the man, so there it is. They land the top pick. So just like that, Kyrie could have been in Philly. And now putting him with the prodigy, James. Putting me with Kyrie, yep. This kid's going to be special. Yep. It's going to be special. Something special. I'm special. And when me and Kyrie together, we going to be special. Yep. I'm telling you now, we coming. We coming. So don't give me, oh yeah, they went and got Kevin Love, but don't give me this Kyrie Irving needed LeBron James to be great. Kyrie is box office. So when I say Kyrie Irving's a better basketball player than LeBron James, why do I even have to answer that question? Kelly Olynyk took one for the team and took out Kevin Love, and Kyrie and LeBron had to shoulder the rest of it. And LeBron, lucky shot. If y'all don't know what Kyrie Irving is right now, that's up to everybody else. But he don't need somebody else to tell him who it is. It was always Kyrie and Steph. That's what it was. Now, if they comparing Kyrie Irving and Steph Curry, which one is the best? Ooh, boy, I'm telling you, if you want to talk about players, that look, y'all can say anything y'all want to say about me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I tell you, LeBron say, remember LeBron said, man, what get me mad when they say I ain't got no bag. You ain't got no bag, bruh. You just saw what a bag looked like. You see this dude bodying dudes with his bag. Are you crazy? That's what a real bag looked like. So, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, y'all didn't see my YouTube short with Deontay Wilder? It was only 10 seconds long because that's all that needed to be said. I did a 10-second short about Deontay Wilder. Yeah, it was pretty funny too, I must say. Yeah, he's got to retire. I mean, it's no Fury beat it out of him. Like Fury right now is at the point of retirement. You know, Wilder's not. He's not young. Wilder's like old. All these dudes is old. When you keep taking these shots, like he was like, I didn't want to take the fight. That second fight and third fight was brutal for him. Brutal. You can't keep taking these kind of hits, and you know you pretty chinny. You know, early on in his career, he could take that because he was dishing it out, and guys weren't really hitting him flush. You know, now it's like a whole different reality because you didn't been in so many wars. Like that third fight really broke him down. He took so many shots in there, and he was gone a couple of times. It wasn't good for him to continue. And neurologically, I just hope he's going to be all right. But you see how everybody turned on you. You go to Bomb Squad. Now everybody like Bomb Squad. You know, they just immediately turn on you. But these are the people that was following you around, doing all this stuff, but you turned your back on the real people who had your back. You got let the lights get too bright and the fame and the money. And you turned your back on the people that was really with you. You know, him and Shannon used to talk about the Bible all the time. Wilder grew up in church. He's the son of a preacher man. So every Sunday he would be in church. So he knows all about the Bible. He could quote the Bible. scriptures and everything. And he used to come on our boxing radio podcast show. And he'll be right over there talking about the Bible with Sean. We talking about stuff. So he was down with us. Then next thing you know, he changed his number, got rid of guys. Like, I'm changing everybody. And he flipped on everybody. So now you see what happened? He turned his back on Sean. Like all of us who had his back, he turned on us and went to the light. Went towards these other people, these new guys who was just D-riding, glazing. They was riding the Wilder wave. They just came and jumped on board. Like, yeah, Wilder, you the best in the world, man. Yeah, dude, interview with me. And then he wanted all them yes men around him. Now the Anthony Joshua Wilder fight, that don't even make sense no more now. I don't even know if he knocks out AJ now. He's a shell of himself. I'm not taking no shots because I'm not really in the boxing game like that no more. I still own the website and we still send fighters out to the fights. I mean, we send our own reporters out. I'm a part owner of the website. Well, it's boxing and basketball now. But yeah, we got media credentials, buddy. I got fighters on speed dial. So I'm still got my credentials. I can go anywhere. I'm a part owner of a boxing website. Yep, me and Sean has this website still going. Right. We just sent fighters to all the big fights. They go for our website. Our website is still up and running. And he was like, man, but you don't promote your website on here. I don't really have to. But I'll do it. What the hell? Boom. Boxing and basketball. Y'all can see that, can't you? Maybe not. Boom. There it is. Boxing and basketball. Let me see what's on it. Sean put all that up. Zion, LeBron. Okay. All right, I see it now. The news, video, contact. Okay. Let me see what we got here. Oh, there we go. Sean Craddock, founder and president, co-founder, and vice president, Carcino. Look at that. Videos, events. Where's the next event that's going there? Ew, they got to update that. So, now, yeah, I don't handle the updating. That ain't my job. My job in the situation was to provide information if I have it, or try to plug in whatever the help they need. Let the young guys go to the fights now. I done did all my going to the fights, running around, doing interviews. Now I'm just gonna sit back and let them do it. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Yeah, we was gonna let people up, but then we'll be here all night. So I got to get outside and do some things. I got to be kicking it. I got my Carl Thomas sweater on, so I got to get out here and, before it get too late. The party already been going on without me, so let me go ahead and get busy. Yeah, I'm stuck in the 90s. Get busy. Oh, yeah. That's right. No Drizzy. We out here for real. Hey, shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life, Ticket TV, Dreamers Pro. Welcome to HDI TV. Don't forget to go to the Patreon if you want to see Rihanna versus Rock Nation, what's going on over there. And Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez, support his channel. Armando Black TV, if I didn't say that already. And the Casino for Life Patreon is already up and running. I'm out.